Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. I hope that you are doing well. When you join, say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from and the beautiful planet Earth that we're existing on. I'm in LA currently, but I'm excited. I'm traveling soon, which will be nice. And if you don't know me, my name is Colleen Gallagher. I'm super, hey, Rise, how are you? I'm super passionate about empowering people to live just an incredible life and really understand what's happening in this world and how do we really raise to consciousness? How do we raise the bar in how we're living? How do we communicate with our soul? How do we understand that we're here for a specific reason to fulfill a specific mission? And when you watch this, make sure you share it, maybe taken down. I'm going to be specifically talking about in this video kind of what's going on with the current election, but really with Facebook and social media. So for those of you who don't know, my second book, The Future for Rohingya's Education in Bangladesh, I'll just leave it there. In this book, I talk a lot about technology, suggesting that technology should be a universal human right. And the reason that I believe technology, social media should be a universal human right is because it really does connect us in a way that we've never been able to be connected before. However, with the 2020 election that's going on right now in America and probably many other places in the world, social media isn't being used as a tool of connectivity. Whether we like it or not, in this current frame state, social media is being used as a war weapon. It would be silly for anyone watching this. Obviously, a disclaimer, I'm not God, source, universe. You need to check in with this information for yourself, but I'm just sharing the knowledge and the tools and the messages that I feel to be true for me and my body. And I know to be true, I guess I should say, from the source that I listen to. So right now, the world that we're living in, right, we have social media, and social media is very much being used as a war weapon in the 2020 election, but in many other ways it's being as a war weapon. As in this book, I talk about my second book, that it's actually been used to have a group of people be sent to a certain place in certain countries like Myanmar, Sri Lanka, the Philippines, and a few other ones where people are killed. And in this 2020 election, yes, no one's getting killed, but I want to share with you that information that's being sent into American people of memes of Trump or Biden, these are actually created by Russia. There's another company in Germany, and also Chinese. And it's to literally have people think a certain way that's different from what's actually going on. And so what I want to back up and say with this is really don't support the US political system. I think it's really dirty. I think it's really unethical. But it's something that we have in our system. And so what I want to share with you is that what's happening right now is not okay. And I want to share that the media is positioning things in a very specific way because we are in an energetic war. This election isn't like just an election. We are in World War III. It is a spiritual war. It is an energetic war. And this is a battle that we're on. And so this whole thing of like the votes being miscounted, or there's fraud, or Trump did this Bitcoin way to check the status, the validity of the ballots that have been cast, all of this is a battle. And I could go into the details of this, but what I want to share and what I feel and what I know to be true is that whatever happens, I don't know how it's going to happen, Trump will remain in office. He really will. And I know some of you may not want to hear that, but he will remain in office. The election and democracy system that we knew as American people, or even globally, will fall. What's happening right now is a decentralization that needs to go on. So for an example, when you look at Mark Zuckerberg, right, and all these things, like there's people that are literally sharing their own personal videos of what's happening with ballots, or their own personal videos of what their beliefs are on the election. And when people are sharing their own personal beliefs on what's happening in the election, or their own personal experiences of what they're seeing in the world, Facebook is flagging these as unethical or as false information. Okay, well, let's just back that up for a minute. So if we were outside and I was to take a picture of the sun, and while the sun was there, I saw an alien spaceship go by, which many of you know, that's happened to me multiple times, and I've shared it with you guys. And for whatever reason, if Zuckerberg was to say that's false information, how could that be false? I took a video with my phone from my life experience in my body. I didn't make it up. It was from the world into my phone into you. How could that be false information? And so what I want to do here, what I want to offer in this video, and especially with my second book, if you haven't read this book and you are very, very interested about what's happening with Facebook and social media right now, I highly recommend going to Amazon and getting this book. It will totally change your perspective on social media, on life, on how this world is developing. And so what I want to share with you more specifically a little bit when I go into this is that we are going to have a massive rioting and civil war breakout before the end of the year in America. This is something that I feel very highly about, something that I've seen. Many other psychics are seeing this. Many other people that are into energy are seeing this as well. The US is going to be totally transformed in the way that we know it. And America will really not be the center of the globe anymore. It's going to move to a different location. And so I just want to make that really clear with all of you is that whenever you're watching the media, whenever you're watching people on social media, it's really important that you take everything with a grain of salt and you start to receive information and ask yourself, how does that feel for me? How does that feel true for my body? How does that feel in alignment or not in alignment? And you want to start really putting your hand on your chest or on your stomach to feel information. Next thing is I highly, highly, highly for all of you on here recommend don't watch the news, don't watch TV. It is all propaganda. It is all literally from other countries that are hacking into our media system. So if you don't know how, let's say, the world works, anything works, right? Ecosystem. We live in an ecosystem of the world, like nature, ecosystem that sustains by itself. So even if you and I weren't in this ecosystem of the world, it would still sustain. Even if 500 million people were in the world would still sustain. And so the media system is a micro ecosystem in this world. And that micro ecosystem has its own system of how they receive information. And there's hackers from other places in the world that are hacking into the American media system to relay what stories people should be saying to the mainstream media. And so when you think about that, that's psychological warfare, because you don't have a country anymore that is in a democracy of their own reporters, international reporters doing it. You have people hacking the system. Like you could have a national reporter say, or a journalist say, these are the stories that we want to put forward. These are what we believe should happen. International hacker comes in and glitches the system, just like let's say the voters' election was done, glitches the system, and then someone's email no longer has what the American person put as a journalist that should be live told, but the international governments have now put a story of what should be shared to the American people. Whew, mind-blowing. And so what I would just want to share with you that in this time of uncertainty and in this time of where it's perceived that a woman is in the White House, it's not. And it saddens me, but I also want to bring light to the fact that there's a lot of people on social media that have been brainwashed and they're relaying information to you from a brainwashed brain. And so what can we do in this space of who do we trust, who do we believe, what information is correct? It's very challenging, very challenging, because it's like, well, there's so much information, and if you look at social media, it's actually it's a new system of media. Before it was a way of connectivity. Now Mark Zuckerberg or whoever it is creating it as a controlling mechanism for only things that fit the Facebook world to be shared. Candace Owens, whatever your opinions are about her, she just opened a court case against Facebook for freedom of speech, which I think was probably one of the best things she could do for actually social media to be in alignment with what its true meaning is connection, sharing our opinions, sharing our thoughts and our voices. But what can you do? Back to this. Educate yourself. Read this book. Definitely go to Amazon, get my second book. It's going to help you a lot understand social media. It's going to help you a lot understand the development of humanity. And it's also going to empower you to understand what can you start to do as one person. I think a lot of times we get daunted with that question of, well, I can listen to the media or I can scroll this. But the deeper question is, what can you cultivate within yourself? What energy, what feelings, what sensations can you start to be inspired by your own actions, your own thoughts? So for an example, I was probably didn't really want to come on and share this. I don't really need to. I can go live my life, but I know that there's a lot of you who desire to hear these updates. You want to know, okay, energetically, this election isn't over. Energetically, Trump is going to stay in. Energetically, there's going to be more rioting. These are all facts from the energy world. Now I want to back this up with the logical world, the physical world. What does this mean by it's happening? International court system, which is different, where Facebook has broken many laws. The international court system has said that, declared that for Facebook. Again, if you're looking at from America, arguably the thing about technology is that it's intangible. Before, when you have law and order, it's like, okay, someone physically commits a crime. Now you have intangibly people mind washing people. That was never something that the world was set up for, besides if it was a major government. But now you have a media controlling information in a country that's claiming they have free speech. So, and who is the person that's to lay that law down? And some of these people don't understand technology and how it's working and how it's moving and all these pieces to it, all the parts of the ecosystem of technology. And you have an older generation who doesn't get this, and they're the ones that are in power. So they can't really do anything to stop it. And so what I would suggest for you is just to really make sure you're tuning into yourself. Make sure you're asking yourself the tough questions of, am I being brainwashed? Is this propaganda? Or what do I feel to be true in my body? What do I know without a shadow of a doubt it's correct? And when you're correct, when you have a knowing, you don't need to argue. You don't need to debate. You don't feel offended if someone has a different viewpoint or opinion than you, because you know so solidly and wholeheartedly in your body, in your core, that is true. That is truth. And that truth, this truth I'm talking about, it's not like just me has this. There's many other people that have this knowing that I do, that have this truth that they've come to. But it's putting yourself in environments like this, listening to a video like this, knowing that you're cultivating an inner relationship and trust with yourself and a higher power, the divine, which is really going to empower you to be prepared for the world as you know it to transform. Our financing system will be totally different. Any finances we've had now will not be the same what they're going to be. Life that we knew will not be the same. Everything that you thought superficially to be true isn't truth. And what is superficial is systems that seem like they are unchangeable or always changeable. Now, what is not, this is a truth. Let's say a truth is that an ecosystem will always function without you. A true ecosystem will always be able to evolve and obtain without you. But the system itself may be broken. The system itself may not be truth. So that's where you want to start getting your mind vibrating to, getting your body vibrating to, getting your peace, awareness, thoughts, whatever, all of those things together. That's where you want to be in alignment towards. That's the place you want to feel. And from that, you won't be bothered by really caring what the media says. Like, I haven't even turned it on or what's happening, because you just have such a trust and a knowing that you're part of something greater and that it's all going to work out no matter what. Some of this propaganda with Trump saying the stuff that he has, sure, has Trump said some stupid things? I'm not going to pretend he hasn't. Absolutely. Is Biden part of the child sex trafficking? Absolutely. And there's videos on videos on videos on videos of that. And so I just hope for you, when I'm sharing this transmission for you to know that wherever you are in this state of your nervous system wherever you are in this state of anxiety, tune into yourself, tune into your mission. What is that you can be producing? What is it you can stop consuming? And how do you become in this present, peaceful state of truth in your body? And from that place, you begin to have empowerment, you begin to have discernment, and you begin to have focus in a way that you never experienced. So I hope that this serves you. Again, please share this, as it may be taken down. I shared a lot of information here that I know Facebook doesn't want me to share, doesn't like. As well as I just completed a 20-page paper on Facebook for my PhD, all about things Facebook is doing unethically. In this realm, it's not just America. They've done it in many other countries where it's actually been war crimes, not just psychological. People have been killed and murdered. And Facebook, very well, we could be going there with the Democrats actually losing. There could be multiple things with that. So just be very careful with Facebook. It's saying meet up places or go places. Be careful. I'm not saying to scare you. I'm just saying it as a way of, this is a habit of Facebook. This is a system. This is not new information. And you can buy this book to read it. It's on Amazon. Just type Colleen Gallagher. I can leave it in the comments as well. But I just want you to know, there is an awakening happening. There is a journey happening. There is an initiation here for you. There is something that you can do to tune into your passions. And if you don't know what your passions are and you need some clarity, definitely message me and we can set up a consultation. Happy to support you in that, to understanding how do you start to create your own products, create your own business. How do you start to use social media in an expansive way? And how do you become a leader of the global government that is occurring? So with that, I want you to know you can have a beautiful day, and that when you are watching this, I'm here to support you on wherever you are in the journey. Don't be afraid. Fear only stems into the darkness. Tune into your anxiety, your feelings, and understand that you can transition it in an expansive way to go in the direction that is going to allow you to be birthed as a leader into the emerging world of global markets, with more equality, with more opportunity, and with micro communities being built that you absolutely can be a part of. And we're close to this, guys. We've got 2 more months of 2020 where it's perfect vision. So everything you weren't looking at is coming up. American people haven't been looking at our government for a long time. We've swept it under the rug. Joe Biden, I'm excited for you to absolutely get arrested, as you should be. And just stay in there, guys. Hang in there. Reach out for support. We're in this together.